You're listening to Into the Twilight, an independent, listener-supported show. Subscribe at patreon.com/intothetwilight for monthly bonus episodes, weekly shoutouts, a Patreon-only book club, and more. Thanks for support, and now, on with the show.
Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
What's up, YouTube?
What the fuck is up, YouTube?
Listen, that is always ingrained in my brain, but I think especially after this past week.
Yeah.
It's that and Big Dog back in rotation. We're here.
It's a big week for...
It is.
Phrases coming back, for sure.
I love it. I love a new earworm getting back in the rotation, which is
yeah.
Hello, friends. Welcome.
Yo.
To Into the Twilight. We are here.
Yeah.
We are happy to report that Sinners, it's available for streaming. We hope that you have watched it.
Yes. Get on it. Get into it. Public service announcement if you've not seen it.
Speaking of earworms getting into the brain, the amount of times that I've looked at my cats and just said "seme" to them is a lot. And that's fine, actually.
I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's great. They're over it, but I'm not yet, so.
Right. I still got a couple more in me, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give it a week, and then they'll probably just be like, you need to switch it up. We need something else here. How are you?
I'm here. I'm living. I'm celebrating the birthday of the Caesar salad.
Good, as you should be.
Which is my favorite holiday, you know? There's nothing else that happens on that day, you know? And it's great.
A holiday I celebrate many times a week here.
Absolutely, for sure, yeah. Always gotta pay homage. I'm bringing a show to the space.
Okay.
I gotta talk about it, and that is The Ultimatum Queer Love Season 2.
Okay, all right.
And folks, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're going to say. Wasn't the first season of that show incredibly, incredibly bad vibes for everyone involved? Yeah, absolutely. Was this one also kind of that? Yeah, a little bit, for sure. But I love these lesbians. I love these messy, messy ladies. And they-thems, and she-theys, you know, who are out here on a wild premise of a show that really, and the season was very good. It just finished. It was bananas. But one thing I have to let you in on that has happened in this show is the Spotify scandal.
Oh, no.
So, for context, there were 2 couples in their, trial marriages, so not their original couples, who got a little intense with one another, romantically and also sexually.
As you do, right? Yeah.
As you do, right? They were exploring connections, right? And one of them, was actually, at one point, falling in love and, having sex and, being honest about it, being like, this is what happened, we didn't expect this, sorry, I don't know what's going on, right? The other couple did not tell a goddamn soul they've been fucking and sucking.
Oh, no.
Since day one. And this whole time, we are seeing, as an audience, cut to moaning sounds, right? At the location of this trial couple, which is Mel and Dana. And they're like, no, we're not fucking, right? Which we know isn't correct, because we see that they're fucking. They also got matching tattoos while in their trial marriage. Yep.
No.
Which apparently is something that Dana and her original partner, Megan, who's in the other couple that also had sex, said they wanted to do if they made it out there together. And instead, Dana just gets it with Mel and says that she forgot about that ever being a conversation they had. And so what happens is we see this like bubbling thing of like, oh my god, this relationship is nuts, and they're, you know, this one particular couple is just not being honest about it. And before they swap back to their original couples, Megan and her trial person, Haley, are like, hey, so we have receipts because we think you're fucking lying that you were having sex and just not being honest about it. And what they say is, at one point, Megan and Haley were in their little apartment or whatever, and Spotify comes on the TV, and Megan and Dana have a shared Spotify account.
No.
There's a locked playlist
of just all Marvin Gaye.
Just straight fucking music. And like, I think also there was a duplicated playlist and like sex playlist that they have had, and they just like duplicated and locked and like added other stuff too for them on their shared Spotify account.
This is I love television.
It's so beautiful. However, producers or however like technology that happened, so it had to like pop up, like, because they were like, oh, we couldn't log into our Spotify, but like your Spotify came up on our TV, and it had these duplicated, locked, sexy playlists, one of which has a song that Dana wrote for Megan, and that was added to the sex playlist with Mel, and it's beautiful. It's the best thing I've ever seen. It's television. It's peak. It's deliciously messy and silly.
I just know one of the producers, in a very like 80s way, shot their fist up into the air like, this, I've made it.
We're here. Yes.
Oh my god. This is...
Yeah.
Hey, first of all, don't cheat, right?
Sure.
And even if, like, I know that technically this isn't cheating, but like, you're not being honest with your partner, and that's the whole part of the show, right? Is to like talk about it. If you're gonna do crime, be better.
Yeah. Right.
This is so embarrassing.
Yeah.
In your shared account.
It's like, it's so diabolical. It's like having, you know, like a password protected folder on your phone of photos, you know, being like, don't look in here, nothing suspicious in here, you know? It's right. Like, what are we...
That is half a step above going on Spotify and just searching, like, sexy time playlist and grabbing the first one that Spotify generated for you.
Right. Horny sex playlist.
Which might have been real music a couple years ago, but now it's all AI generated slop. So you're fucking and sucking to fake music. I can't get over this. I can't get over the fact that they got tattoos together in your trial marriage.
Also, I need to be so clear. The matching tattoos were 4-leaf clovers. That is just something that you...
I'm done. I'm so done.
And Dana put it at least in like a chic, discreet place. Like it was like on her ankle or something. But Mel put it like on her like in the crux of her arm. Like very visible, right?
I can't. The ankle you can hide, but that's such a painful place, too.
Yeah.
God.
But yeah, these lesbians are providing. That's what we want. That's what we want here on these streets. But this is my truth. How are you doing, my dude?
I mean, listen.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, Tiny Chef's not canceled anymore.
Right.
So...
We single-handedly saved Tiny Chef.
So you're welcome, you know?
That was us.
Yeah, so that's good. I listen, I'm bringing a podcast episode today, which is a little inception-y, but shut up.
Sure.
This has brought me a lot of joy, and so it felt appropriate, which is the most recent episode of Why Won't You Date Me with Nicole Byer.
Hell yeah.
With, of course, Lou Wilson.
My man.
The man, the myth, legend, Lou Wilson, who's to promote the tour that the Intrepid Heroes are on right now. But in a way that I was not expecting, I mean, obviously him and Nicole have crossed over because of the comedy scene and because of Dropout. What I was not expecting, and this isn't a spoiler because it happens in the first 20 seconds of the episode, because Nicole does this where she'll take a clip and introduce it at the front. Nicole and Lou went on a date once.
Oh my God.
And Nicole always does this, where she ends every episode by asking her guest, would you date me? Right? And so she asks Lou this, and Lou does have to say, well, Nicole, we did go on a date. And she says, sorry, what?
She didn't remember? She didn't know?
She did not remember. And then,
that's beautiful.
And Lou, to be a prepared guest, right, had referenced this material, and he was like, listen, I don't want it to come off creepy. I did pull up this information beforehand, right? And so she's like, oh shit, that's right. And she's like, well, at least we didn't kiss. And he's like, I
got bad news.
So we did kiss. Should I go? And she's it's so,
my God.
It's Lou, right? So the episode is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
It's Nicole. It's great. They go over stuff, just lore about Lou that I did not previously know, where he talks about his prior dating history in a way that I did not realize how much of a scamp Lou was in his dating history. And that, you can only understand it in the context of him describing it. But there is a story that he talks about where he does I'm a girl at a party and I've distanced myself hoping that you chase me thing. And I would have never pegged Lou for that.
Yeah.
Of like, sorry, you're on a first date with someone and you went and you went and ran away in the parking lot. And this girl is like not feeling it. She's like not picking up what you're putting down. It's very good. But to find out that, like, you know, it was 5 years ago, so it was very much, I want to say, like, weeks before the U.S. officially shut down, which I have to imagine is why Nicole kind of blocked this out. But it was just like, whoa. you know?
Wow.
Very
That's
good.
Beautiful.
Love their interactions. The vibe is great, but the whiplash of going from trauma dump to this, very good.
Yeah, nice little shot chaser for sure.
Yes, it is a trauma dump in its own very specific way.
Sure, yeah. Wow,
which I very much appreciate.
What a collab! What a powerful energy of two people.
It is. It's very much powerful energy. So highly recommend it. Being able to listen to it when we were recording this. So I did listen to it on the 4th of July. And that, for me, was a very patriotic moment.
Sure, yeah.
Getting to celebrate two comedians that I respect and appreciate. Wow. Which is great. So thank you, Lou Wilson, for being just a true scamp that you are.
Hell yeah. Respect.
And just knowing that question was coming and getting to pull that lore was so important. I am very excited for you to introduce this piece of current events because you got to tell me about this.
Yes. Folks, rom-coms are back, baby. In a big way.
We're so excited to tell you. The films, they're back.
The films, they're back. They're making movies. And we got an exclusive from Hollywood Reporter. Thank you to Boris Kitt.
What a name.
I know, strong name. And featuring our boy, Penn Badgley, and Megan Fahey, who are going to be in a rom-com for Amazon called You Deserve Each Other.
Me and Bach, you know?
Do not
it's
bring
all
his
I've been
name
able to think about.
Okay, listen. This couples casting inspired.
I can't.
Sexy. Very sexy. I'm very into it. Also, the plot of this, because I guess it's based on a book, of the same name. And it's very like, oh, they're about to get married, but they don't love each other anymore. So I guess they'll try to, like, force the other to call it off before they do, because they don't want to do it.
The deposit's expensive, non-refundable.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I'm so into this. We have some romcom vets who are directing it, which is very exciting.
I'm so excited about these writers.
Yeah.
Because I have not read this book.
Mm-hmm.
I might beforehand. But the writers behind this
mm-hmm.
have never been kissed, and he is just not that into you.
Mm.
I'm in. Say less. Those were always on TNT growing up and FX.
Mm-hmm.
Those are safe bets.
Sure.
The jawlines, Cody.
Yeah. I can't even.
And to get him to do
imagine.
comedy again.
Yeah.
And not just killing women.
Right. He wants to be a funny, silly lover boy. Let him do that.
And Megan can do comedy. It's just, I'm very grateful that it is a good change of pace here.
Yeah.
I would imagine that Penn's therapist is also very grateful of like, oh, good. It's been, 6 years of you just playing a misogynist serial killer. This is good. This is safe.
Sure.
Love it. I couldn't be happier. And the promo that they've been doing of this like faux fight on social media has been very good. I love it. I'm very excited. I love the movies.
We're so back, baby.
So that's the only happy thing that we're going to talk about today.
Dude.
Do I know that when you have a premiere of a season, that it has to be like, oh, we're going to take all this budget and everything has to be intense? Yeah, sure. Do I also recognize that when you have a title of a season premiere of I Know What You Did Last Summer, that it's not going to be all happy-go-lucky? Yeah,
sure.
odds. Mm-hmm. Am I still, fucking Arrested Development dead dove? Am I still disappointed? Yeah, I am.
Yeah. Listen, at least, like, we got very few moments of reprieve. A lot of this was just emotional and psychological torture on us specifically. But at least we got college move-in day Caroline, because that is really important. Like, this girl brings a panini press. She's fucking no one has ever been more ready to move into a dorm than Caroline
If
Forbes.
my dorm, and I'm putting this in heavy quotes, right?
Yeah, dorm is a stretch.
If my dorm had looked like that, with the absence of overhead lighting, I would have fared a lot better my freshman year.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to be a community college. Okay, Jen.
Right. Yeah, sure.
I will say the peaks of this episode were very strong. Like, I shot out of my seat when we got to see Rebecca girl kisser Michelson.
Thank fuck.
Like, finally,
Like, and listen, is it because she's just really into three-ways right now with Matt or whatever? Sure. But I choose to believe that he's not there. I don't see him. Because she's kissing this lady. She's kissing her down, okay? So, like, focus on that. Focus your energies on that. My girl, this is better for you. This is healing for you.
We've been saying this.
Yes.
For months now, outside of the timeline of this show. Because we've seen her kiss women's necks before when feeding.
Sure.
But to get it confirmed that she is a girl kisser.
Yeah.
Thank you, God.
Yeah. Finally, some fucking crumbs.
I don't know why we're pretending that, like, this whole time we've been saying that she is just projecting on Matt, right? That she is just interested in his humanity and less of him as a person. So I'm not interested in their little escapades and her kissing him. I don't care.
Yeah.
I want more.
That doesn't register to me. I'm
I don't see this.
Right. It is, I am seeing it and it's leaving my brain immediately because I'm thinking about Girl
Right.
Kiss or Rebecca.
God damn. I have to say, though, for a human, I think Matt has fared the best this summer. He got to, presumably someone helped, I would imagine Rebecca, helped pay for all of his houses and bills.
Mm-hmm.
And presumably some kind of, like, cleaner for his home.
Sure.
He gets to come back, still has his job,
Right.
and looks tanned and great.
Yeah,
By
he's
the end
glowing.
of the episode, he's has black eyes? Question mark.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on, but I was like, damn, Matt, okay, great,
Yeah,
good job.
You just need to queen out for a little bit, okay? Just like go on a little road trip, go back to your job, have some horny threesomes with your girl, and you know what? Slay.
Yeah, he just needed to get away from all of his friends who are fucking stressing him out. And that's really fair. So that was definitely, for me, a peak of this episode.
Yeah.
It was very brief, but it did make me happy.
I will say, speaking of horny summers,
Listen.
Elena's had a horny fucking summer.
God.
So much so that her own brother, mind you, who was 24 hours ago dead, and was dead for a long time before the summer started, she is so into Damon in this moment that him being alive is like not even something that is registering to her at all. It's just like, oh yeah, he's here, he's like a roommate, it's like he just came back from the dead, you guys. Can we
from the
pause
montage that we get, she is so over it with him.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, you're here still.
Yeah, like he's a nuisance, he's interrupting their sexy time, and it's like, motherfucker, he was dead. You should be grateful he's no longer dead.
It was wild to see that switch flip.
Yeah.
But okay.
Like, all right. Yeah, I mean, enjoy your last few days before you go to college for some reason. To have sex with your boyfriend who's just going to be babysitting your little brother who's alive now. You're welcome,
Watching Damon interact with Jeremy was so important, and I missed it desperately.
Yeah.
Of him being like, oh no, totally, Lena, it's all going to be great. Don't worry about it. You're just a couple hours away. As soon as the door closes, he's like, no, actually, fuck this. Go away. No.
You are not my problem. Figure it out. I don't want to deal with this. Okay.
Here's $20 for pizza. Fuck off, actually. Here's my question.
Yeah.
I know that this doesn't, like, presumably Silas didn't do this, but no one has thought about Stefan.
Yeah,
beyond,
literally not
like,
once.
oh, interesting, he's gone. Okay.
Yeah.
I've just accepted that.
Right. Like, at least with Bonnie, she is tag teaming with Jeremy to be like, hey, can you send some fake emails for me?
Yeah, that's what
just
he's busy with.
And just be like, hey, can you just, like, keep it up, keep up the lie a little bit just to keep it going, write little emails. No, Stefan does not have that because he's trapped underwater in a coffin or whatever. And everyone's like, yeah, weird, haven't heard from him in a while, huh? Like, it's like, what? I know he's not everyone's favorite person right now, but, like, no one's even, like, a little curious where he's been for months.
Yeah, when would he ever just ghost?
Right.
Like that.
Yeah.
It is wild to see that even Caroline has accepted it, of just like, oh, he's grieving. It's fine.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Sure.
Like, okay, we're just not checking in on our friends here. And that's just, listen, protect your peace or whatever. But I feel like, I don't know, maybe a little curiosity would serve you well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. I get that it has to happen for the plot.
Yeah.
But what happened to you all being, like, you just graduated together. And you all were so close that you did a group hug. And now you're like, oh, well, I'll just go a couple months with Stefan being gone, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. And he's good. Okay. Sure.
Yeah. Can I say, though, the way Paul is playing Silas Stefan, or, like, I guess Silas doppelganger, he's not really Stefan, he's just his doppelganger, is so fucking good.
I was creeped out. Which is that is a compliment to Paul.
Yeah, like when, again, we've always said this, when he's able to go sicko mode, it is much better oftentimes than when he's not. Yes. As far as acting goes. But this was like a level of just, whoa, ouch. Like very Joe Goldberg-esque in a way.
100%, yes.
Very talking sweet, or like saying like evil things but in a nice way that sounds nice, you know, and just being like, you know, that conversation with Caroline's mom and being like, listen, I'm coming out as not being Stefan, but you can't give me what I need, I guess, so I'm just gonna drink from your wrist, and you just tell them that Stefan said hello. And like, but the most like sinister way ever. It's like so nasty.
It was so wild to see the way that they're visualizing him reading minds. I was over, personally, just because it was giving me a headache. But I get what they're trying to do. Yeah. I found that conversation with Liz very interesting, mainly because Silas said vampires are a perversion of him.
Yeah.
And that adds some questions to the lore for me. Because what do you mean? I thought the originals, like, I have some questions about where everything fits in there, but sure. Okay. I find him very creepy. I thought that conversation was terrifying. And then we see him again with Damon, and I got like chills, because not the first conversation that happens in the grill, because Damon, of course, can never catch and clock Silas, which, like,
no, Jesus
Christ. But the conversation at the house when Damon asks where Stefan is, and all Silas says is he's suffering. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, drama queen.
But I found it really interesting, because that happens when Catherine is like running down the stairs, and Silas doesn't have speed. Right. So to see Paul not doing his like running fast is very, like, just casually walking down the stairs is very weird.
Yeah.
Very odd. The thing that is wild is that I know Damon. Of course, he wouldn't pick up that Silas is in the grill, even after Jeremy is like, this is my one job as a hunter, is to be able to, like, figure out who this dude is, and you're not listening to me. But Catherine, in the bathtub, it took her a long time to figure out that wasn't Stefan.
Yeah. That scene was so interesting, because you could tell both of them were having, like, such a good time with it, you know?
Yes.
Because, you have Paul being, like, Silas in this moment, and then Elena being Catherine, but also human Catherine, which is another layer of stuff there. And this, like, kind of flirtatious thing going on in the bathtub, but then it's also like, oh shit, you're not. What's going on? Is bananas. I do agree. I love that he's like, ew, don't call me a vampire, that's disgusting. Those are like, I'm the OG, first of all. Fuck you. Like, I am way cooler, way stronger, way better than anything. Fuck all of you. Also, too, when he's, like, talking to Damon, and being like, hey, why do you need Catherine? And he's like, I mean, I could tell you, but, like, wouldn't it be so much fun if it was a surprise? Like, why would I? It's like, you are such a little bitch. I love you. I love this guy. I can't get enough of him. He's making everyone's lives really bad, but he is fun when he does it.
I agree. I'm glad that you brought up Catherine, because Nina, my wife, the layers that she got to play with Catherine this episode, where Catherine just looked fucking wrecked this episode.
Yeah.
Must have been so fun. Because Catherine usually looks very polished. Even when she's struggling, is very polished. And so the conversation specifically with Damon, where she was like, I have blisters, Damon. Have you ever tried to run in heels? I thought was very fun.
Yeah.
I appreciated her immensely in that moment. The part that I'm curious about, because we are time skipping from last episode to this one, Silas mentions later on in this episode that he's had a lot of blood. And we saw that a little bit a couple episodes ago. But I want to know, and maybe we will get more information on this, of what all has he been up to. Because all that we got this episode was everyone was having a great summer. Caroline, vibing. Elena and Damon, not a care in the world.
Yep.
So if things have been bad, Liz didn't make a mention of it at all this episode either. So what is happening here? And also, who is the other vampire at Elena's college?
Okay, yeah. Let's get into this, because first of all, I love that they're in college. It's so silly and unnecessary, but it's so fun. And I guess except for the fact that Bonnie was just showing up as a ghost being like, we all made it, guys. It's like, fuck you for doing that to me, first of all. Fuck off for that.
Criminal.
But, and I guess I didn't, like, think in my head that they were just planning on Bonnie to show up, but just didn't realize, I mean, still don't know that Bonnie is dead. But, because I was like, who the fuck is this girl? That's the third roommate when they're vampires out here. Why couldn't they just compel the school to be like, this is my roommate? But I guess they were just waiting and assuming Bonnie was going to be there. So that's fine, whatever. But we turn out we have this gal out here, Megan, who is like, hey, I'm your roomie. And Caroline's being like, we have to be normal. We have to be normal. We have to kill her or something, because this is fucked
There's only
up.
two options.
Yeah, there's two options. Either be aggressively normal and human, or we kill her. And I love that we are seeing the beautiful vampire tropes in a college setting of like, oh, what's more normal than going to a frat party? And it's like, oh, we can't get into the frat house because we haven't been invited in. We don't know who owns this building.
So good.
It's really good. It's really fun. It's never not fun. But it's especially fun in a college setting. Be like, oh, how do we look totally normal? Oh, we can't actually walk through the door. Uh-oh. Give me a second. Bye. Sorry. I love it.
It is wild to see. I was very interested in Megan. It had the same reaction that Elena and Caroline did, who's like, who's this girl? What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was wild to see. The product placement this episode was very good. Of just Megan pulling out her Surface tablet and being like, oh, I'm chill. I'm a college student. I don't need a real laptop.
Yeah.
It was very interesting to see. I was very intrigued and having a great time with Caroline being like, okay, so we need to set some ground rules. I get low blood sugar, so don't touch any of my stuff. And then immediately goes and touches her, what was it, protein water?
The protein water is so funny. Because they're like, what the fuck is this? And also, like, yeah, because Caroline's like, don't touch my stuff. If you see me run away really fast, don't follow me and don't look for me ever. Don't worry about it. But then also is totally snooping. I was like, what the fuck is protein water? And it's like, damn, it sucks that we have this human roommate because the mini fridge is full of this fucking protein water when we could be putting our blood bags in there, but that looks terrifying because we have a human roommate. So we're fucked. And turns out, just Vervain. Straight Vervain from the rip.
Which is super sus, because she comes out of the shower and it's like, oh, it sounded like someone was dying out here. Okay, Megan.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
And then she dies by a bite on her neck and is thrown out the window, which is nasty.
So fucking nasty. At the frat party?
At the frat party, right? Which a lot of underage drinking there, normal,
of course,
at this party.
Yeah.
But the police have been compelled to think that it was self-inflicted.
Yeah.
How would that happen? How would she bite her own neck and throw herself? Because it's not she didn't drop out of the window. She was like 20, 30 feet out of the window. So how's that?
Right.
Did she jump into a cannon? What the fuck? Like, what do you...
Yeah, she was like, I'm going to go out with a bang, obviously.
Literally.
You know?
Right?
It's like, no, this was obviously a murder. What are we talking about? This is obviously a vampire-related murder.
And I know that they're compelled, so, like, they're not thinking rationally, but it was just like, oh, no, this is totally self-inflicted. Okay,
yeah. Like, there was a note, so obviously, what else
right.
is there?
Which we never saw, the note.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of interested in Megan by this point.
Yeah.
Because by the time that she was on the other side of the door, and she was like, okay, y'all are being weird, so I'm gonna go. I was like, damn, okay, I'm a little intrigued by Megan. And then she died.
I wish we got, like, at least another episode with her. I know we have to move this in a direction. I get it. But, like, it was so fun to live in the world of, like, whether she is, you know, a vampire hunter or just thinks Elena and Caroline are weird as fuck. It's, like, such a beautiful space to be in. Of, like, this nebulous, like, you guys are you coming or not? Like, why are you just standing outside? Yeah, like, as if you cannot move.
I want to read Megan's blog, where she's just a normal college girl, where she lives with two weird roommates.
Right, yeah. And she's like, your vibes are, like, you're nice and everything, but, like, you guys do some weird stuff. And
it's
like,
weird, because they seem objectively popular, but they're acting really weird.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what your deal is, but I just wish we could have lived in that space a little bit more, because it's
Same. Fun. I know that it would have gone a little bit like April, but
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Megan. I was a little bit interested in you.
Yeah.
The thing I don't understand, why the fuck did she have a picture with Elena's adopted dad?
Yeah, excuse me. What? Hello?
Because Liz said that at the jump of like, oh, your dad in medicine here. And then
right. We know how he fell in love with science here. Yeah, we have so many dad lore tropes. Like, remember Elena had a dad?
And at first I was like, oh shit, like her real dad?
Right,
the creepy one. And then I was like, oh no, the cool dad that we never got to see.
Right.
And I know parents do that where they get super nostalgic, but it was a weird lore drop to say, and then her just be like, okay, bye.
All right, you're all set up. See you later.
So, very interesting, because their apartment had been not broken into, but the door was left ajar. Mm-hmm. Which wouldn't have been sus if the campus security had come in. Mm-hmm. But it was very much not that.
Yeah.
It was something else.
Mm-hmm.
So questions. And it does not, right now anyways, does not seem related to Silas.
Yeah.
I hope it's not that pretty black guy.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Flyer? Flyer guy. He was like, I have a name, it's Jesse, but thank you. Hello. He's very cute.
Also, were you shocked that Tyler deferred school?
That was, okay. I just love, like, you can tell that this actor just does not want to be on the show anymore. And it's like, please just get me out of here. Because he's, like, just calling on the phone. First of all, Caroline, the audacity of her being like, so I've signed you up for college. You just gotta register and pick your classes, and then we'll all be together. And it's like, girly pop, he's not gonna do that.
I mean, she probably got a bulk discount, right? Doing it for Elena and everyone else.
Yeah, she's like, I will save on application fees if I just do them all in one swing. So, like, it'll be good. It's fine. Like, well, I'm just gonna throw you in there. Whatever. Right. But, like, girly pop, he's not gonna do that. We haven't seen him in forever. And I guess he's just vibing with this fucking vampire or a werewolf crew, you know, and they really need him. They really need him. It's like, okay.
He just signed a lease, Caroline.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, he's starting a commune over there for werewolves, and it's just like, he's having his own summer, extending into fall now, and that's fine, you know.
He's also in the Grand Canyon with Bonnie.
Yeah,
actually.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
I felt really bad that she thought it was going to happen, and then she was also really sad afterwards, but I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm glad that Elena and Caroline are still there. I wonder, I know that this won't happen because it's not interesting for the story, but what if for the next 21 episodes they just get a different roommate each time?
Wait, I would love that. Absolutely.
Just the campus never catches on that, like, there's just a new girl that dies every episode.
Right. Yeah, something feels to be going wrong in this weirdly, like, home-like dorm.
Right.
Where every woman who walks in has, like, 12 hours and then she's goner.
Right. The vibes were good. I felt very comfortable when the Lord Needle drop happened.
I felt at home. You get royals in there, walking up to college. Absolutely.
Just because, like, this was when I was in college, and so when I saw Elena and her braid in her hair, I was like, this is home. Yes. Like, this... Yeah. This feels very comfortable to me, and I feel safe. There should be a little bit more matte lips, but we'll get there. Yeah. We'll get there soon. Here's my question.
Yeah.
Why are the people bullying Jeremy so bad at being bullies?
Okay. Listen, I understand that education is important, right? Let the record show that I think education is important. But if he was gonna go back to school, maybe not their school where he very publicly died and they all mourned him very publicly, right? Like, because even at the beginning, he's trying to be like, sell the story of like why I'm alive, you know, after we had the huge memorial for me. And it's like,
in our school gym.
Yeah, right. Like, I got really into drugs and I was facing demons in battles, which is not incorrect. And he was like, and then I burned the house down and ran away. And Lena's like, maybe don't say that because that sounds like kind of crazy. They would just be like, I was having a hard time and fake my own death, or like, let's skip town, right?
Yeah, I went into witness protection for a month.
Right. And so, of course, he goes back to school and everyone's like, you know, making fun of him, basically, for being a depressed kid who faked his own death, which he did. He literally died. Yeah. Nice. Cool. Right. It's like, the audacity is so nuts, because it's like, it's so high school, but in a way that's so, like, specifically evil, in a way that's like, what is the mentality here of these dudes being like,
you're depressed, I'm gonna push you into a locker. What the fuck? That is so high school, honestly. It's
so nuts. And of course, Jeremy just goes full sicko mode.
Because he's a 25-year-old.
Right, he's an adult man. And he's like, I can kill all of you right now. I won't, but I will fight you physically in this very public space. And it's just, I love too that Damon like sets him down. It's like, hey bud, you kind of went a little nuts over there. And Jeremy's like, okay, coming from the guy who literally killed me. And he's like, yeah, I did it in the privacy of your own home, not in front of God and everyone. Like, in broad daylight at school, Jeremy. Right. And you're lucky I compelled the principal to only give you a 3-day suspension. And you're going back once that's over, motherfucker.
And we're not telling Elena, okay?
We're not telling Elena. No, everything's fine. She doesn't think that everything is fine.
My favorite thing about that scene, though, is that one of the assets bullying him, for whatever reason, looks at him and is like, nice phone. Does it ever ring? What? What is that? Why is that a diss?
Yeah.
And I get it back then, because it's like, oh, no one's texting you? You're lonely.
Yeah. Right.
But it's just like, where did this come from? Yeah. Who are you? I've never seen you in my life.
God, it's so nasty. It's like, he could have just been at any other school. if he wanted to, and it doesn't seem like he wants to continue his education, but I think he should. But I think there's just some sort of other alternate route here rather than being back in the school where everyone publicly said, bye, Jeremy, you're dead. You know? It's tough. It's tough.
I have questions. Mm-hmm. What I have a lot of questions about specifically is why these writers want me to suffer, because I had to watch Bonnie die so that I could get Jeremy back, which is not what I asked for. I said specifically that I wanted both of them alive.
Right.
And then
I worked through my grief with Jeremy.
Right, exactly.
You know? I was not happy, but I was fine. I understood. I was there.
Right. And then I have to see Catherine drive them both into a tree.
Listen, okay. Catherine, I get it. You're on the move. You're not trying to get fucked with by Silas. I understand that. But Jeremy is being a nice guy out here, trying to drive.
You already killed him once, girl.
Yeah. And it's like, this dude has died so many times in so many different ways. And we are honestly probably past Rick territory of how many fucking times this dude has died. And it's like, I don't think this guy can keep doing this. You guys? Yeah. Because it didn't work well the last time with Rick, lest we forget.
I will not.
Fuck. God damn. Yeah, that was very triggering. I was like, how dare you do that to me? That's sick and twisted.
Well, especially because Bonnie comes back and it's like, I didn't fucking die for this, so you better live.
Right, motherfucker. Yeah. Right. You're the only motherfucker here who can talk to ghosts, so I need you alive.
Yeah, I have shit to do here. Because to find out that she hasn't told her dad.
Yep.
Her dad still thinks that she's alive. I can't.
And it's just, I understand Bonnie wanting to just keep up appearances and be like, I'll find the right words to say, right? I'll figure it out. I'm just not there yet because I'm processing my own stuff. I understand, you know? Yeah. But it's so fucking evil because these writers have a fucking death wish, for me specifically, to be like, hey, Bonnie, how about you come to this little town hall that Silas is just gonna take over in a really haunting way. And then you, while dead, get to watch him kill your father in front of you. How about that?
The way that they shot that scene, where it kept going between all of the townspeople frozen and then just her screaming, was well done, but I hated it so bad. Yeah. Because what is it with the villains of this show hating mayors?
Yeah, for real. We are running out of adults who can be on this job. We had to fly fucking Bonnie's dad in for this. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, we had to recruit. We had to do external recruiting here for this.
There's no one that's going to want to fill this position because they don't last long.
Yeah, not a great track record, you guys. No.
It was so nasty to watch. Paul did a really good job in that scene of being like, wait, everyone shut up. I just want to see this really quick.
We just test something really quick.
Hold on. I'm going to play Wonderwall really quick. Hold on.
God.
It was so nasty because for what reason did he need to kill Bonnie's dad? Other than he doesn't like Bonnie. Right?
Yeah.
Nasty man. I don't like it. And then just being like, bring me this woman who looks like Elena. Okay, bye. You're dismissed. For what? I don't know. I don't know why Silas needs Catherine. Other than he wants another doppelganger. I don't know. Are they starting a union? What's up?
Yeah, it's like, we've endured long enough of the preferential treatment our respective doppelgangers have had when we've been wasting away. And it's like, all right. Surely there's something here, though. Surely there's a plan, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what his nasty little plan is, but I'm... and also, real Stefan is still deciding whether or not he wants to keep his humanity on in the box, but apparently he's still alive. Presumably.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I understand you're going through like a mental crisis right now, but I think priority number 1 is how do I get out of the box, right? In the bottom of the ocean. How do I do that rather than be like, oh man, should I just flip the switch off? Like, we can do that later, you know, if you're, you know, I know you have a lot of time to think in there. You've been in there for months, it seems like. Yeah. I'm sure you're just, you're lost hope. I get it, whatever. But, I don't know, priorities, man.
This episode went places I was not expecting. But I am intrigued.
Yeah.
We've got bad guys everywhere. Of Silas, and then I think your name was Nadia, the one who put black eyes on Matt.
Oh yeah.
The other girl kisser.
Yeah.
And then presumably the other vampire at the college. And I don't know if they're all working together, but I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
And is anyone communicating with each other? No. Never.
Yeah.
But next week is titled True Lies.
Hell yeah.
And this still looks like from the Twilight Meadow scene.
It literally does. That's, wow. Okay. Sure.
You know, do you ever just have the Twilight Meadow scene, but it's at the quarry instead?
Right. What if just for one episode they were like, what if vampires do sparkle? Just for this one time.
God, please.
You know? Just give me a little.
What I would give. Especially because Twilight is canon in this show. That'd be great.
Right. Yeah.
Ugh, what I would give. I'm very excited. We have some amazing patrons. Would you like to start us off?
Absolutely. Thank you to Drake Lautner.
Ooh, thank you to April Dobrev.
Ooh, thank you to Sean Salvatore.
Ooh, thank you to Megan Pattinson.
Ooh, thank you to Katya Karp.
Ooh, thank you to Genevieve Morgan.
Ow, thank you to Danielle Burke.
Ooh, thank you to Janae Bennett.
Ooh, thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Ooh, thank you to Dan Zeklos.
Thank you to Emily Ozera.
Ooh, and last, but certainly not least, thank you to Jaylene Ivashkov.
Pew, pew, pew.
I have a fan fiction for you. This is by the author Mahogany Sangria.
Okay.
It is titled Love Language, Elena Gilbert. And the summary of this is very short, but it really gets to the point, which is, in which therapy and her asshole little brother lands Elena Gilbert a hot Italian girlfriend, not that she's complaining.
Okay.
And there are over 14,000 words of this.
Thank God.
So if you are intrigued in Elena enjoying a hot Italian girlfriend, please go enjoy the works of Mahogany Sangria. Which is it's just a very strong name.
Yeah. Wow.
I am very excited to go explore Ultimatum because it has been a while.
Yeah.
So, going to go look up the messiness that is there. There's never been a better time to tell your friends about the show. New seasons are always great on here. But as we sit here in the Pacific Northwest...
Get bit.
Ooh.
Ow. You've been listening to Into the Twilight, an independent production by Earbud Media. You can support the show by subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/intothetwilight or rate and review us on your favorite podcast app. You can send us a backstory or a fanfiction at intothetwilightshow@gmail.com. Our music is by Eli Krause, and our art is by Maddie Padilla. You can find me on Twitter at Cody Corral and Allie at Many Are the Stars. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.